The parking lot was full of laughter, but not the kind that warms your heart. It was the kind that cuts deep, the kind that makes the air around you feel heavier. A few teenagers stood outside a convenience store, filming on their phones, trying to get likes for their next funny video. And that's when he walked out, an older man, weathered face, faded jeans, and a simple brown jacket. In one hand, he carried a grocery bag. In the other, the trembling hand of his little daughter, who clutched a small stuffed bear. "Hey old man," one of the teens shouted, smirking. "Want a free drink?" Before the veteran could respond, a full bottle of Coca-Cola was hurled his way, splashing across his jacket, dripping onto his daughter's toy. The group erupted in laughter, phones still pointed at him. The man didn't yell. He didn't even flinch. He just looked down at his little girl, wiped the cola from her face with his sleeve, and whispered softly, "It's okay, baby. Let's go home." That calm, almost sorrowful tone silenced even the wind for a moment. The teens kept laughing, until one of them noticed something in his eyes. Not anger. Not fear. Something deeper. Something that told a story far beyond what their phones could capture. When they drove off, still joking, they didn't know they had just mocked one of the most decorated Marine snipers in U.S. history. A man who had once served in places most people only saw in war documentaries. A man who had lost brothers, who had saved lives from rooftops and mountain ridges. And now, that same man was quietly trying to raise his daughter alone, far from the noise of war and medals. At home, his daughter, Lily, helped him wipe the cola off his jacket. "Daddy," she said softly, "why were they mean to you?" He smiled weakly. "Because they don't understand, sweetheart. And that's okay. We don't need to be like them." But when she went to bed, his hands shook as he looked at his reflection in the window. The same calm eyes that had once scanned through a sniper scope now brimmed with quiet pain. The next day, the video went viral, mocking captions, thousands of cruel comments. But not everyone found it funny. A young Marine corporal named Blake recognized the man immediately. "That's Sergeant Ethan Cole," he whispered in disbelief while watching the clip in his barracks. The ghost eye of Fallujah. Within hours, the Marine community lit up. Posts flooded social media. "That's a hero you're laughing at. He saved dozens of lives. He's one of us." Suddenly, the mockery flipped. The same video that was meant to humiliate him became a symbol of respect. Veterans, civilians, and strangers across the world began commenting, sharing, and thanking him for his service. 2 days later, Ethan's small town was buzzing. Local news vans parked outside his modest home. But Ethan didn't want fame, he just wanted peace for his daughter. When a reporter asked him what he thought of the teens who threw the drink, he simply said, "Forgive them. They're young. Maybe this will teach them kindness before life teaches them pain." That line hit millions of hearts. Even the teens who had posted the video came to his door days later. No cameras this time, no phones, just trembling voices and watery eyes. "We're sorry, sir. We didn't know." Ethan looked at them quietly and nodded. "Now you do. Remember, you don't need to see scars to know someone's been through war." One of the boys broke down crying. Ethan placed a hand on his shoulder, a gesture of forgiveness that spoke louder than any punishment. Months passed. Ethan began volunteering at a local veteran center, teaching young people about respect, sacrifice, and compassion. His story became a message shared in classrooms, community halls, and online platforms. "Heroes don't always wear uniforms," one teacher said, playing Ethan's viral clip for her students. "Sometimes they're just dads trying to raise their kids right." In time, Ethan's daughter would grow up knowing her father not just as a Marine sniper, but as a man who taught forgiveness in a world that often forgets it. The video that began with cruelty ended up changing thousands of lives. And as the camera fades out on the final shot, Ethan smiling, hand in hand with his daughter under the setting sun, "Remember this, every person you meet is fighting a battle you can't see."